So, Johnny, how's it
Yes,
going?
it's going good.
This is a little bit of a different episode because Alexis isn't here.
Well, what a tragedy.
So it's just going to be us then. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. So, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you.
What are we talking about today?
So this is part two in bowling. Oh, you don't even know.
Cool. We actually had quite a few people talk about your episode, and they were very impressed by your bowling skills and your bowling knowledge.
Yeah, I took a lot of notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, can you remind me where we left off in the last episode? I think we were kind of talking about the history of bowling.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. We talked about some techniques.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, part two. Where we go next?
All right, so we're gonna continue our little path on oil patterns.
Oh yeah, this is great actually because I don't know anything about oil patterns. I didn't know that was even a thing. And I think a lot of other people had questions on that. So explain what an oil pattern is.
All right, so if you're new to bowling, you might know that the lane is a little bit greasy.
Yeah.
Because you might think that it is the nature of bowling. Just kind of like the stinky rentals shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, come on, it's true in every bowling alley.
Yeah, is that why you have your own shoes? So you don't have to put your feet into their stinky rentals?
I guess that's why
I should probably get some of my own shoes too.
you should. But anyways, back on the oil patterns. There's like a hidden type of oil that makes like kind of like the ball like skid instead of like roll immediately.
Right. And this is why if you step onto the bowling lane, you can slip and fall, right?
Yeah,
it's
like you slip super easily.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to mess around, it's probably best to go in the gutters instead of on the lane itself until you get to like the drier parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't want to get brain damage, or else you wouldn't be even listening to this episode.
So they put oil on the lane.
Yep.
And do they have to do that every day?
Yes, they do have to do it every day. They even sometimes do it twice a day. Pretty much like after youth league.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they start applying new oil patterns since that they know that the later hours are going to be a lot busier.
Okay.
And they want everybody to have clean oil.
Got it. And so we should tell the audience that you are in a bowling league, right? So you're in a youth bowling league.
Yeah, I'm probably like one of the best two-hander bowlers in my league.
Yeah.
The only ones that are beating me is Branson, Jacob, and Ian.
So
Yeah,
what
I'm
is
like
your
the fourth.
average usually?
My average is like 139.
Pretty good. What's your best score you've ever bowled?
It was like when I wasn't even in the league and I was still using house balls, but I got a 181. Kind of remember when we went bowling with Jesse.
Yeah, that's insane, man.
Yeah, and I was like legit not even looking at the arrows. I was like looking down at the floor.
Yeah.
And yet I kept the right amount of pace, and I scored 181.
Yeah, I remember that. That was impressive.
Yeah, and it wasn't even on our own lanes. Like when someone like came up to us and said like, you can have our fries because we aren't gonna eat them anymore. I asked them if they can leave the bowling lane on, and they said yes, sure.
Yeah.
Pretty hilarious.
Yeah. Okay, so oil patterns.
Yeah.
So they oil the lanes every day.
Yeah, and
sometimes twice a day.
yeah, and the crazy part is that they oil different lanes every day. Like sometimes when there's like a major tournament, they sometimes just oil the ones very nicely for the players, since that a lot of these players are like so good, like average 200.
Really?
Yeah. And sorry about that noise. It's just dog critter.
Creator.
But anyways, there's like different types of oil patterns, such as like bear, shark, cheetah. Yeah, there's
Okay.
like a lot, and each of them have their own oil length. Some can be short to like 35, and some can be long to 52.
Okay. Can we go back just a little bit and talk about the pattern itself and why they call it that?
Okay, so why they call it that? Because it's just kind of like how sharp it turns. So like wolf turns very sharp, since that it's a little bit heavy.
Okay. So the pattern when they oil the lane, does it like zigzag all the way down, or does it just go in a straight line?
Some patterns go in a straight line, like just like the same amount of oil every time, no matter what board you go to. But some boards can be so lightly or dried that like if you ever try to bowl on them, it would just inevitably just hook immediately and go into the gutter. But going middlewards, you'll find some heavier oil and like more skid instead of roll.
Okay. Oh, that's when you see the bowl kind of spinning, or maybe sometimes where it just looks like it doesn't even move, but it's like sliding down the lane.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean?
It's kind of like it's like the 3 steps. I messed up the 3 steps last episode, but now I know.
Okay.
So firstly there's the skit, then the hook, and then the roll. Last time I think I said like skid, like roll and hook. I don't know.
Oh, that's okay. We're all learning.
Yep, we're all learning.
Okay, so the oil patterns, they can either be straight or they can kind of zigzag. There's also different thicknesses across the width of the lane, right? Mm-hmm. And then they named them different names. Are they always based on animals?
No. Sometimes they just name it that way because it's cool.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Do you have a favorite oil pattern?
My favorite is just a house shot. Just regular bowling alley cleanness.
Okay. Do different bowling alleys apply different patterns?
Yes. Well, they don't like apply like completely different oil. Like just like PBA sign, like verified oils. Like they still do house oil, but sometimes they just do it in different lengths.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like a super play where they have like 43 feet. Meanwhile, at like Kingpins, it's like 45.
Okay, so let's talk about that too. So when you say different lengths, what does that mean exactly?
So what I mean is that the amount of oil that stretches through the 60 feet lane, or let's just say foot.
Okay.
That just sounds
I don't even think I knew that. So from the foul line, right, where your toe can't cross, all the way to the pins is 60 feet?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes you can even try to shoot 75 feet, which is legit past the ball returner. Like,
how would somebody shoot 75 feet?
By being very consistent and know where their mark is, because they need to do that in order to get a strike 75 feet away.
Whoa, that's pretty wild. Are there 75 feet lanes?
Yeah, but there's even one that is 100 feet.
Really?
Yeah.
But that's not like regulation, is it?
It is in regulation. Like you have to be like luck. It's like by luck to get that 100 feet lane.
Yeah, that's a really long way to throw a bowling ball.
Yeah, like I don't even know I could even strike. Like I would have to like probably the oil is like best like 80 feet, and that is like 20 feet of dryness, which is very long.
Yeah. Okay, so they don't oil the lanes all the way to the end.
Yeah, they don't.
They have. Is there like standards that they follow, or is it just like the alley says, "Oh, we only want to go to 45"?
There's like standards and like custom. Customs is basically the bowling alley does whatever it wants. So the standards that they put for the bowling alleys that are owned by like Brunswick or Storm, the regulations is that it has to be house feet. It has to be a house, which is just like the usual bowling alley oil that you go to on a weekly basis.
Like the one that we're like, oh, let's do something this weekend. Let's go bowling. Like that one?
Yeah, instead of like man, there's such a major competition. I have to win that $1 million.
Got it, yeah. Do the Professional Bowling Association, the PBA?
Yeah.
Do they have a standard?
No, they apply any oil they want.
Really?
But it's only in competitions. But even in PBA leagues, like they sometimes apply different oil patterns because it's kind of like a way to learn. In professional bowling, you have to adjust to the oil, and if you don't adjust and stay the same as you usually do on the house shot, then you're just gonna not get a strike at all.
Right, yeah.
So like, let's say this. If it was like a hand oil lane, yes, there is a competition that did a hand oil lane, which is like basically the entire lane oiled.
Really? All 60 feet?
Yeah.
Is that pretty hard to...
Probably the hardest lane to throw on because you can barely get a strike. All you would get is a split.
Oh.
It's the king of splits.
Because it's like slipping and sliding all the way down?
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you know what type of pattern has been put down before a competition?
Usually it comes with like a sheet, which tells like the oil length and tips for you to adjust to.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it's not like a surprise or anything.
It isn't like a surprise.
That's good.
Like some competitions, they put like they manage to like visibilize the oil, but that is like very hard to do. Like they need like very high technology equipment to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let me think. So on the oil pattern on that sheet, there's like a difference to it. You see how like some PBA pros, they see just black and white, just like random shades of color on the lane. And PBA pros who are new and didn't learn that from their league somehow, they usually just say like, oh, what is this? I don't know what it is. So they just like bowl the usual and they didn't win at all. Like they get knocked out first. Because
they're throwing it in the cutter and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how PBA pros see it is the darker, the more heavier it is.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what were you going to ask?
I was going to ask if you like, because I know you get a like practice time before a competition, right?
Yeah.
So you can kind of get a feel for how the oil pattern is laid down. Do professional bowlers also get that?
Yes. Usually in like just regular fun leagues, they usually give you like 10 minutes of practice.
Okay.
But in PBA competitions, they give you 30 minutes. I don't even know how long they give you, but they definitely give you a long time.
Yeah, 30 minutes seems like a long time too.
Yeah. Like
I'd probably get tired after 30 minutes.
Yeah, me, I never get tired.
I know. I've been bowling with you. You can go forever.
Yeah,
I can go for about an hour, maybe. but I start sucking pretty hard at around 45
Hey, you
minutes.
weren't that bad.
Thank you.
Just gotta stop hating on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like throwing the little kids balls, the 6-pounders, so I can see how fast I can get it.
And last time I know, you throw it pretty dang fast.
Yeah. Okay. When you get that practice time and you start throwing, are you able to tell what kind of oil pattern is there just by the way your ball reacts?
Yes, PPA pros know this, but amateurs or novices like me, they really don't know. They just have to adjust to the feeling.
Okay.
So if the ball hooks too much when I throw the kind of the 5-to-1 board, and it hooked too much, then keep on moving 5 boards left till you get to the pocket.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you say 5-to-1 boards, you're talking about those little arrows, right? That are on the lane?
Yeah, each arrow is equivalent to 5 boards.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
Cool.
So there's the start to the 0.5-to-1 board, and all the way at the end is where the 45 to 50 board is. And if you throw it from that way on a heavy oil pattern, then I'm gonna consider you as insane.
So are there different, because I learned this from you when we were looking for bowling balls,
Yeah.
that there are many different kinds,
Yeah.
and you have quite a few already.
Yeah.
Are there different types of bowling balls that are better for different types of oil patterns?
Yes. People tend to buy the bowling balls that look the coolest.
That's what I would do. Totally.
Kind of like the exotic gem or the regular gem.
What is
Those
that?
balls are pretty cool, but they are extremely strong. And what
Is
I
it
mean,
bad to have a strong ball?
it's bad to have a strong ball on house, aka light oil patterns,
Okay.
house to light, because those balls are so dull that when you try to shoot it on a regular house, it's just gonna hook too much. But it's all right if you just try to adjust to it, or if it's a heavy or fresh oil at your local bowling alley.
Okay. So can we talk about that a little bit more? The ones that look the coolest?
Yeah.
So those aren't necessarily the best.
Yeah, they aren't necessarily the best, but they are extremely great balls for different competitions with any different heavy oil.
Okay.
Personally, me, I would put it in my bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about somebody like me who's a beginner? What kind of ball should I be looking for?
So what I recommend looking for is the urethane pitch black, which might sound pretty boring because it's just a ball that is black.
Yeah, it's kind of
But-
like the classic bowling ball that you picture in your head, like from cartoons and stuff, right?
Yeah, just a regular
Just
black
a regular
bowling
ball. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like back in the days where it was just black plastic balls or rubber balls.
Yeah. You are much too young to know this, but have you ever heard of a cartoon called The Flintstones?
Oh, yes, I've heard.
Yeah. Do you know about Fred Flintstone?
Yeah, but I didn't watch the show.
So Fred Flintstone, he's a caveman
Yeah,
who
I know him.
loves bowling, and they bowl with rocks. So it's not a good idea to bowl with rocks, is what I'm hearing you say.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. If you want to get in trouble or if you just really want to hurt someone, then bowl with rocks.
Okay. Okay, so as a beginner, you would look for something sort of simple, and you said polyurethane is the material?
Yeah, polyurethane is definitely a great material for beginners.
Okay.
Polyurethane is perfect for both strikes and spares. But I recommend just getting polyester since that it is perfect for spares. It's
Okay.
So like probably get like a T-zone or raw ice.
And those are the companies that make the bowling balls?
The companies that made the T-zone is Storm. Is same with the raw ice, or maybe it's like ice raw. I don't know.
Okay, so those are models of different bowling balls.
Yeah. Yeah. You can
Those
get
such
like
cool names.
yeah. You can get my T-zone, which is very good for spares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually that brings up another question that I had.
Yeah.
Which was the different types of balls for different bowling scenarios. Because, like I said, you have how many bowling balls do you have now? Like 6?
I think so.
Yeah.
Especially since I just bought one.
Did you?
Yeah, remember?
Where was I?
It was
The one that you bought from that other kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one that I bought from Ian.
Right.
Like, that ball was so good.
Yeah. Okay, so you have 6 bowling balls, right? I think we're going to need more shelf space.
I think like 6 or 7. But yeah, that is true. We're going to need more ball space.
So what I've seen you do is you pack 3 bowling balls when you go to league.
Yes.
So you have one for your first throw, and then you have another ball for just spares.
Yeah, and the usual ball that I pick out for like heavy oils is a Storm's Phase 3, and I throw it like extremely straight, like a bit of hook, but like straight, like no hook type.
Okay.
For the spares, I use a polyester, aka plasket ball, which is called a T-zone, and this T-zone is very, very good for spares, as well as others, but I recommend T-zone instead of any other polyester balls because they're just better.
Okay. Do you know what exactly makes it better for spares? Is it that it spins more or less, or curves more or less?
It's based on the core. Like if you ever are new to bowling alleys, you just expect the bowling balls to be like just perfect spears, like nothing inside.
Yeah, that's kind of what I expect.
If you actually like take an X-ray through a bowling ball, you'll actually see something like that is inside, and you might ask, like, what the heck is that?
It's a skull. There's a skull in there.
It's the Texan skull from the last episode.
Yeah. Is that what's in there? Treasure? No. Treasure in there? Gold?
Okay, let's not bring up the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
But
so there's a core is what you're saying in there.
Yeah, there's a core, and there's like different types of cores. Some bigger ones tend to have more RPM. The higher the RPM, the harder it is to control, but adjusting will make it perfect.
Okay. So that's how many times the ball actually spins as it's moving down the lane. Yeah,
like some PBA pros tend to go for 350 to 500 RPM, but some extreme PBA pros tend to go like from 500 plus to like 800 plus.
Wow, that's a lot.
I know, and I don't even know if that's even possible to bowl a perfect strike with that much RPM.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot.
Yeah, I guess the only thing you'll get is just a Brooklyn, and that's it.
What's a Brooklyn?
A Brooklyn is where you strike the opposite side. And, okay. So if you're left-handed and you go to the right, then you like strike on the right. That's called a Brooklyn. Oh, it's also the same for right hand. It's just vice versa.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's actually something that we should save for the next episode. The pins, and when you knock them down, isn't there like different names for how spares are set up?
Yeah, there's like the bucket, there's the 710, which is like the hardest.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. There's a little preview for the next time. So we'll talk about that in the next episode.
Yeah. Do you mind if I tell a little bit more before this ends?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, okay, so where should I begin? Oh, yeah. Different bowling alleys around the world.
Okay, yeah, let's hear it.
All right, so each country has its own standards. Where the standards are applied, basically to every bowling alley is just like the United States. Like, I don't even know if there's even that many Storm or Brunswick factories in like any other country, except for like Canada or Mexico. But country like random countries that are not well known, such as like Mongolia, they have their own standards. So let me give a little. Let's get this a little straight. So in a foreign bowling alley, like a foreign country that you've never been to.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take Poland for example. Poland has a little bit of a different approach. Poland it can like apply its own standards. So you might not even know the oil from other than the oil in your country.
Really?
Yeah.
So it sounds like Poland needs to get their act together.
I guess they've been having too much Polish vodka.
They're all drunks over there? Wow, Johnny. Shots fired at Poland. I hope they don't listen to this over there.
Oh, God,
You're going to start
an
international incident.
Well, I just start a war with probably like God knows how much people are in Poland.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that there is no international standard for bowling alleys.
Yeah.
In particular, how they oil the lanes, right?
Yeah.
So do they do international bowling tournaments?
Yes, they do international bowling tournaments, but only and only then that's where the standard is applied. That is the only time. No, nowhere else. So let's see. Let's take a little example on a opening. So let me take the Dubai opening, for example, which is in Dubai. The PBA asked the government of the UAE, aka the Emirates, they asked to please like let's do like a PBA opening there, and we'll give you like some money if you could let us bowl there, and usually every country says yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they're corrupt. Most of the countries that PBA chooses are corrupt.
Really?
Such as the UAE.
Wow, it sounds like soccer too.
Yeah. Remember 2022 FIFA World Cup?
Yeah, I think a lot of people remember.
Screw Qatar.
Okay.
Yeah, shots fired at Qatar.
Yeah.
First,
look at you starting wars all over the place.
First Poland and now Qatar. I mean, come on. Most of their population are immigrants.
Qatar?
Yeah, Qatar.
Yeah. All right. I said Qatar. Do you know what the bowling capital of the world is?
Bowling capital of the world? I really don't know.
You've actually been there when you were a baby.
Oh, is it?
Are you ready?
Is it San Francisco?
No. It's Van Nuys, California.
Van Nuys?
Yeah, it's in Southern California.
Yeah.
And that's where my family is from.
Nice.
Our family, I guess.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of interesting, huh?
Yeah, that is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't know that because I was only a baby. How was I supposed to memorize that?
Well, you can research that after we're done.
Well, you got shots fired at me now.
Well, thank you, little guy. I think that's pretty good for our part 2 of this.
Yeah. Part 3?
Yeah, part 3. I think we have more to cover.
Yeah, we always got more to cover. Like,
yeah.
bowling is such a huge part of history.
Who knew?
Yeah, who knew?
Johnny did. All right. Well, thank you, little guy.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.